In the late 1960s, before the shock rock theatrics and worldwide fame, Alice Cooper, the band, needed a place where they could work non-stop without distractions. Detroit's exploding rock scene was magnetic, loud, raw, unapologetic. It was everything they wanted to be. So the band rented a farmhouse in Oakland County, Michigan, not far from Lake Orion and Holly. This wasn't glamorous. It was rural, isolated, and cheap, exactly what they needed. Inside that farmhouse, they wrote early material that would define their sound. They rehearsed constantly, sometimes all night. They developed the theatrical, aggressive stage presence that set them apart. They absorbed the Michigan attitude, loud, blue-collar, no-nonsense rock. Michigan didn't just give them a place to stay. It gave them a personality. Michigan's rock scene, the perfect pressure cooker. The late 60s Michigan rock environment was unlike anywhere else in America. You had the MC5 blowing the doors off venues, the Stooges redefining chaos, Bob Seger grinding through every bar and club, Grand Funk Railroad electrifying Flint, a fan base that demanded authenticity. If you couldn't win over a Michigan crowd, you couldn't win anywhere. Alice Cooper learned how to survive and thrive in that environment. Their sound sharpened. Their stage show intensified. Their confidence grew. Michigan didn't just influence them. It forged them. Mount Holly Ski Resort, the legendary early shows. One of the most important Michigan connections is Mount Holly Ski Resort in Holly, Michigan. Yes, a ski resort. Yes, Alice Cooper played there. Mount Holly hosted rock shows in the late 60s and early 70s, and Alice Cooper performed there during their formative years. These weren't polished arena concerts. They were gritty, sweaty, loud, and packed with Michigan kids who wanted something wild. These Mount Holly shows helped the band test their theatrical ideas, build a local following, connect with Michigan's youth culture, prove they could win over tough crowds. For fans who were there, these shows became legendary. The moment when Alice Cooper stopped being a band trying things and started becoming Alice Cooper.
This is Jeff. Just wanted to say my connection to Mount Holly is I worked there in the 80s, the early 80s. And one of the things I did was build Thunderbolt, one of the ski runs. This is me at an earth mover on a corner. I actually took that one earth mover like that over the side, lost the back end of it, and had to slide down the mountain backwards, probably over 400 feet, maybe 500 feet. It was quite the drop. But I was involved with that, so I like to put bands that were at Mount Holly. We tried to do the bands again in the 80s, and it just didn't take off. Yeah, it was more about having to take care of the kids and not let them leave. I was the director of security during the winter times, besides all the other jobs during the winter, snow crew and everything else. But this was Mount Holly. Building that, I've also helped build Bittersweet in Kalamazoo, and then moved to East Troy, Wisconsin to work on building some of Alpine Valley out there. So I've worked at a few ski resorts, all owned by the same person. But so I like to put the connections of the old bands that used to play there, Alice Cooper, Bob Seger, local ones. It's very interesting. So thank you for watching.
Alice Cooper's Michigan era wasn't a footnote. It was foundational. Michigan gave him a place to experiment, a community that embraced weirdness, a rock scene that demanded intensity, a working-class authenticity that shaped his persona, a sense of belonging during the band's most uncertain years. Later in life, Alice Cooper often spoke about how Michigan crowds were the toughest and the best. They didn't care about trends. They cared about energy, honesty, and attitude. That's why he returned to Michigan repeatedly throughout his career. Not to live permanently, but to reconnect with the place that helped create him. Cooper is a fan of both the NHL's Detroit Red Wings and Arizona Coyotes. On February 18, 2012, the Coyotes gave away his bobblehead in a promotion for the first 10,000 fans for a game with the Dallas Stars. Cooper is a longtime baseball fan, supporting the Arizona Diamondbacks and Detroit Tigers. As a child, he dreamed of playing left field in the Tigers' outfield alongside Tigers Hall of Famer Al Kaline. He has coached Little League baseball teams since his son played in the early 1990s. Cooper is also a fan of NBA basketball, supporting both the Detroit Pistons and the Phoenix Suns. Cooper is an avid golfer and says that the sport played a major role in him overcoming his addiction to alcohol, and has even gone so far as to say that when he took up golf, it was a case of replacing one addiction with another. The importance that the game has had in his life is also reflected in the title to his 2007 autobiography, Alice Cooper, Golf Monster. Cooper, who has participated in a number of pro-am competitions, plays the game 6 days a week, off a handicap of 4. He also, through golf, enjoyed an unlikely friendship with country guitarist and singer Glenn Campbell after they became neighbors, playing together nearly every other day. Cooper has also appeared in commercials for Callaway Golf Equipment and was a guest of veteran British player and broadcaster Peter Ellis on A Golfer's Travels. He wrote the foreword to the Gary McCord Book Ryder Cup and participated in the second All-Star Cup in Newport, Wales. Alice Cooper has no plans to retire from music. In recent interviews, he has dismissed the idea of stepping back, saying, "That's not my vocabulary. I play golf every day. If there's a show, I play golf that morning, and then I do the show that night." He also emphasized that his career is thriving. "If we do a tour and nobody shows up, then I'm retired. That's never happened. In fact, we're doing better business now than we've ever done." Cooper continues to tour actively, including a North American tour with guitarist Nita Strauss, and remains energized by his fan base and live performances. He is 76 years old, but still performs regularly, balancing his stage work with family life and hobbies like golf. His car collection. Beyond music, Cooper is a passionate car enthusiast, with a collection that reflects his Detroit roots and eclectic style. His garage includes 1966 Shelby Hertz Mustang signed by Carroll Shelby, 2019 Dodge Challenger Hellcat, 2015 Dodge Challenger SRT with shaker hood, 1963 Studebaker Vanny, 2003 Mach 1 with shaker hood, 2017 Maserati convertible, 1955 Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing Coupe, 1934 Ford Planned Edition Urban Splatter. He also owns classics like the 1965 Shelby Cobra 427S/C, 1969 Chevrolet Camaro SS, and 1971 Ford Mustang Mach 1. His first car was a Volkswagen Beetle, which he still fondly remembers. In 2025, he even sold a 1936 Ford Tudor sedan Restomod, a blacked-out Restomod version of the classic, complete with memorabilia like a signed guitar and a photo of him with the car barn finds. In short, Alice Cooper is not retiring. He's still touring, performing, and enjoying life, while his car collection remains a vibrant part of his personal and public identity. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.